Hello again everyone, and welcome to my patch 4.06 Affliction Warlock guide. My name's Optec of Trollbane Europe. Okay, let's start with the talents. Now in this we're going to take the bottom tier, basically improve damage to Corruption, which is a large part of your DPS, Doom and Gloom, which is Bane of Agony and Bane of Doom, and improve life tap, which is nice. Soul Siphon and Siphon Life we're going to take. Jinx is like an AoE Curse of Elements, so you put Curse of Elements up and then everything in 40 yards gets Curse of Elements as well, so we're going to take that. Don't forget, of course, if the target with the original Curse of Elements on dies, then all the Curse of Elements will go down, so make sure you reapply it. Going to take Eradication. It's a haste buff that procs. Soul Swap, which is awesome, I'll talk about this in a minute. Shadow Embrace, basically a stacking damage buff cast by certain spells. Death's Embrace, Nightfall. This is like your basically your corruption ticks have a chance to give you an instant cast Shadow Bolt. Soulburn Seed of Corruption, which is awesome. Everlasting Affliction, I'm gonna take this, just straight damage increase. Pandemic. We go right to the bottom. And Haunt. Haunt's like the main ability of Affliction here. I'll talk about that in a minute. And for our splash talents, we've got a bit of freedom here, really. I mean, you can take any of the utility talents in here if you really want to, but I'm obviously going to take Bane, reduce cast time on your dots, and Shadow and Flame because it gives you the 5% crit buff and increases your nuke damage. You can put these last 3 points where you want, I guess, but I'll put them in False Energy. Make sure you keep your pet alive, and you take Curse of Exhaustion. Why not? Now on to Glyphs. Now, Haunt's the main glyph to take here. Damn. Haunt just increases the damage bonus that Haunt gives you. Also we're going to take Glyph of Corruption here. Glyph of Corruption stacks with the other Affliction ability, which gives you instant cast Shadow Bolts randomly, so you'll be getting instant cast Shadow Bolts quite a lot with those two. And the third one we're using is Glyphs Flash of Pain. This increases your Succubus's damage. Now in patch 4.1, which is coming up, it's looking like the Succubus isn't going to be the pet of choice for Affliction, but for the time being it still is, so we're going to put Flash of Pain here. If you weren't using that, you would be using Glyph of Unstable Affliction instead. It's worth mentioning the major glyphs here because Glyph of Soul Swap is a unique one here that really gives Affliction a very large damage boost in 2 target fights, certainly. So Glyph of Soul Swap means that your dots remain on the target when you use Soul Swap, so it basically means that during a fight you can just continually take your dots off and dump them on a second target, just massively increasing your damage. So, doing damage as Affliction, as you might imagine, is all about keeping your dots up. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to start out by putting up my Curse of Elements, Bane of Doom, Unstable Affliction, Corruption, then get your Haunt up, and then start spamming Shadow Bolts. Now just basically watch all your dot timers and make sure you refresh them at the right times. Cast Haunt whenever it's off cooldown. Remember that Unstable Affliction has a cast time but it lands instantly. Haunt has a cast time and a travel time. Corruption should be kept up just by using your other spells, so you're really only refreshing Unstable Affliction, Haunt, and your Bane. There we go, set bonus. Randomly you'll get, there we go, a little bit more haste, and also you'll get instant cast Shadow Bolts, if you're not lagging like I am. Now because this is single target, we're using Bane of Doom. If you're using 2 targets, as I'll explain in a minute, you'll be using Bane of Agony instead. If you are using Bane of Agony, make sure you refresh it not on the last tick, but just after the last tick. This is because Bane of Agony's damage ramps up the longer it stays on the target. There we go, there's an instant cast. And there we go. That's basically doing damage as Affliction. Okay, so if we're doing damage to more than one target, namely 2, This is where Affliction is really cool, because if we got that old glyph of soul swap, it means we can remove dots from one target. So let's just put the 3 main dots up on this one. There we go, so I've got my 3 main dots, Bane of Agony, Corruption and Unstable Affliction. I take them off, and then I can put them onto another one. So you can see they're still ticking on this one, and they're also ticking on this one. Now if I want to do damage to 2 targets, I've set up a little macro which is basically a 1 click to soul swap off of a target and then a shift click to put it on a focus target. So I've made the triangle here my focus target, and I've got the Raiders target dummy as my main target. Start up my DPS on this target. Just get all my dots up, then soul swap, put it on that one, and carry on with my rotation on this one. Keep an eye on the cooldown of your soul swap, and use it whenever it's off cooldown. And just continue to dump all your dots on that target. And continue like this. And that's how you do target damage to more than one target. Now when we're doing DPS on a target with low health, we're going to be using Drain Soul instead of Shadow Bolt as the filler. This does massive damage on targets with less than 25% health, and also so do all the other dots, so your DPS will ramp up considerably in this regime. I'm using the Fell Hunter here because his Demon Soul is a large boost to periodic shadow damage, so it's really going to help out in this. If you're not using the Fell Hunter as your main pet, then you may want to Soul Burn and summon this just before the execute phase. It's up to you. Right, I was going to quickly show you what this looks like. So I'm going to pop up my dots in no particular order, and Drain Soul. And you can see there is a tick timer here on the bottom, and I'm going to want to refresh dots after that tick timer. So here's a tick, Haunt, and the Shadow Bolt, and then back to Drain Soul. So if you get an instant cast Shadow Bolt, try and cast it when you're refreshing Haunt, and try to remember to refresh Haunt after a tick. And that's about it. There we go, after the tick. A bit of a delay there, but it should be alright. And back to Drain Soul. And that is how you do damage on a low health target. If you're doing damage to more than 2 targets, then don't forget that you have a Soul Burn followed by a Seed of Corruption and spam away basically. This basically means that when if people are damaging it, then your seeds will explode. Basically means that you detonate a Seed of Corruption and you put Corruption on everything as well, so nice heavy dot on everything and loads of AoE damage. There we go. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, I've been Optec of Trollbane Europe. Don't forget to check out the rest of my channel for Warlock point of view raid guides. I'm putting up heroic kills as and when we kill them. Thanks for watching, all the best.